Let's go.
Just popped up on mine. Oh yeah, microphone. Microphone check 1 2.
Okay. Yeah, I can hear us here. I'm gonna give it like a second to see some people get in here. Cool. Something here. All right. Shalom Yabashim Shabrakta to the brothers. Shalom Yahashim Bashim Yahushai to the sisters. Today is a Sabbath service. We give everybody a few moments to just check in. Today, the topic is going to be a lack of knowledge. And we're going to be going over the importance of wisdom and knowledge and why we need it as a nation today and how it has destroyed our nation for all these years. Who is this? Olivia. All right, Most High in Christ. Who's Olivia? The wife of young man James. Most High in Christ, sis. Glad to have you. Give everybody just maybe a minute. We'll get started with the prayers. And today we're going to be going over 1 Kings chapter 3. And we're going to, the first 7 verses in the Hebrew. 7, okay.
1 Kings chapter 3.
1 Kings chapter 3. And it actually goes like all the way like verse 11. Actually like farther than that.
Yeah, we'll just do 7.
All right, verse 1, sir. It's like, what's it?
Verse 1.
It's right.
You said 11 or 1? Okay.
Verse 1. 1 Kings chapter 3, verse 1. We'll start there. Actually, yeah. I'm going to take a lot today, so we actually just started. Just let me know when you get there.
Wrong. I got it.
Oh, you got it?
Yes, sir.
All right. So everybody's ready. And with that, Amijam, just me and the brother up here. Slack you.
La Yasharala,
Which is to Israel. Sorry. All right, imagine on YAHANNA, which means to rise and face the east. We're going to get started with the Lord's Prayer. Sisters, remember to have your heads covered. Brothers, remember to have your heads uncovered. And we'll be going over the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, I.S.U.P.K, Yahweh, Malak Taba'ah, Ratzaka, I.S.H.A, Ba'aratza, Kawah, Shemayim, Nathanawa, Lakam, Call, Yawam, Wasalaknawa, Kasalaknawa, Kabawatinawa, Wala'ah, Tabayanawa, Banasaiwan, Kabal, Hawashaynawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wa'ala, Watapara, La'alumium, Amun. The Lord's Prayer in English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come. Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. So be it. Hakak, which is the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Baba Kashah,
Nathanawa,
Hakak, La'apa'ah, Call, Makalah, Matawat, Hakak, Matahar, Ha, Matazariah, Hakak, Lahaquayim,
Hamathiam,
Hakak, I'll, Rakawath, Tama'ala, Lagarashun, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, the water,
Amen. Hakak, the power in the English. Yahweh.
It's like Yahweh.
In the name of Yahushai. Please give us the power. The power to heal. All manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the lepers. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahushai. Thank you. So be it.
The blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh,
Yahushai,
Wameaka Allah,
Wa'alahayim,
Matazab Ya'ab,
Alawap Yahanna, Alawapyam, Hasaronyam, Hakwazayoyam, Hakayoyam, Wahawapyam, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, the water, Amen. The blessings in the English. Bless you, Yahweh. And Yahushai. And Michael. And the angels. Commander General Yahanna. The generals. The captains. The officers. The troopers. And the sisters. Yahweh. In the name of Yahushai. Thank you. So be it.
Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'a, Ayunya, Mahoyim, Mayan, Yaba'ah, Izoya, Ma'ayin, Yahweh, I.S.U.P.K, Shemayim, Ba'aratza, Ayatan, Lamawat, Lagrogolka, Yanawam, Shamorka, Hana, Yanawam, Wala'ah, Yashun, Shamar, Yasharala, Yahweh, Shamorka, Yahweh, Tazolka, Ayad, Yamka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'ah, Yakaka, Wayarath, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makor, Rai, Yashamar, Athnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Taza'apka, Wabawa'apka, Maida, Wa'id, Iwalam. Psalms 121 in the English. I will lift up my eyes into the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from the Lord. Which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade. Upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day. Nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out. And thy coming in. From this time forth. And even forevermore. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew.
Alahayim,
all, Damaya,
Damaya,
Laka,
Laka,
all, Lakarash,
Akarash,
all, Lashakwat,
Ashakwat,
all, Kaya,
Kaya,
Hana,
Hana,
Yebika,
Yabika,
Yahama,
Yama,
Yawan,
Yawam,
Ra'ash,
Yahash,
Al,
Al,
Amaka,
Amika,
Ayamwa,
Ayama,
Sawada,
Sawada,
Waita,
Waita,
Tazawa,
Tazawa,
Al, Tazapawanyaka,
Tazapawanyaka,
Mowa,
Amarwa,
Lakawa,
Lakawa,
Wanakakinam,
Watakakinam,
Magoya,
Magaya,
Wala'a,
Wala,
Yazakar,
Shakar,
Shum,
Sham,
Yasharala,
Yasharala,
Awada,
Awada,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Tazawa,
Tazawa,
Laba,
Laba,
Yakadwa,
Rekadwa,
Ayaka,
Ayaka,
Mariath,
Marirath,
Yakarathwa,
Akawathwa,
Aliyah,
Ayla,
Adawam,
Adawam,
Wa,
Wa,
Yashamai,
Yashamai,
Alayam,
Adayam,
Mawa'aba,
Maba Abba,
Wahagorium,
Magaya,
Gabal,
Gabal,
Waimawan,
Wayawam,
Waimalak,
Wamalak,
Kalashath,
Kalashath,
Am Yashabia,
Am Yashabia,
Tazawar,
Tazawar,
Gum,
Gum,
Ashawar,
Ashawar,
Nalawa,
Nalawa,
Aimam,
Aiman,
Hayawa,
Iowa,
Zarawai,
Sarawai,
Labunya,
Labunya,
Lawat,
Lawat,
Salat,
Salah,
Aisha,
Aisha,
Lahum,
Yahum,
Kamudya,
Kamadyam,
Kasaya,
Kasaya,
Sara'a,
Sara'ah,
Kayubya,
Kayabyam,
Banakol,
Banakol,
Kayashwan,
Kayashwan,
Nashad Madwa,
Nashadwa,
Bayan,
Bayan,
Dara,
Daira,
Hayawa,
Kayawa,
Daman,
Daman,
La'a,
La'ah,
Dama,
Dama,
Shayatumwa,
Shayatumwa,
Lada,
Lada,
Yamawa,
Yanawat,
Kaira,
Nakara,
Kaza'aba,
Kaza'aba,
Kazabat,
Kazabat,
Katazol,
Okatazol,
Manai,
Manai,
Kol,
Kol,
Nasayakumwa,
Nasanakma,
Ashur,
Shah,
Amarwa,
Amarwa,
Narasha, Salakia, Nayarasha,
Nayarasha,
Lanawa,
Nanawa,
Af,
Af,
Nawath,
Nawath,
Alahayam,
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 Alahaya,
Shayatumwa,
Shayatumwa,
Kagogla,
Kagogla,
Kakwash,
Kakwash,
Lapunya,
Lapanya,
Rakawa,
Rakawa,
Salakia, Ka'ash,
Ka'ash,
Taba'ira,
Taba'ira,
Ya'ira,
Ya'ira,
Wa,
Wa,
Kalahaba,
Kalaba,
Kalahat,
Kalaat,
Harayam,
Hayam,
Kun,
Kan,
Taradama,
Nabadatma,
Wasa'iraka,
Wasa'abrika,
Wabasa,
Wabasa,
Wapathka,
Wapathka,
Kabalam,
Kabalam,
Mala'a,
Mala'ah,
Panyahum,
Panahum,
Kwalawan,
Palawam,
Waya,
Waya,
Kwashwa,
Kwashwa,
Shamka,
Shamka,
Yahawa,
Yahawa,
Bashwa,
Yabashwa,
Waya,
Waya,
Ahawa,
Yabaya,
Adya'ai,
Ayai,
Waya,
Waya,
Kaparwa,
Kaparwa,
Waya,
Waya,
Badwa,
Yabadwa,
Waya,
Waya,
Daiwa,
Dayawa,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Adda,
Ata,
Shamka,
Shamka,
Yahawa,
Yahawa,
Baka,
Labaka,
Adawan,
Adawam,
Al,
Al,
Ko,
Kol,
Paratza.
Paratza. Psalms 83 in the English. Keep not thy silence, O God.
Keep not thy silence, O God.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still.
And be not still.
O God.
O God.
For
lo,
thine enemies make a tumult.
thine enemies make a tumult.
And they that hate thee
And they that hate
have lifted up the head.
have lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel.
They have taken crafty counsel
against thy people.
Against thy people.
And consulted. Against thy hidden ones.
Against thy hidden ones.
They have said. Come. And let us cut them off.
And let us cut them off.
From being a nation.
From being a nation.
That the name of Israel. May be no more remembrance.
May be no more remembrance.
For they have consulted together. With one consent. They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against thee.
The tabernacles of Edom. And the Ishmaelites. Of Moab. And the Hagarenes. Gabal. And Ammon. And Amalek. The Philistines. With the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah. Do unto them. As unto the Midianites. As to Sisera. As to Jabin. At the brook of Kison. Which perished at Endor. They became as done for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb. And like Zaid. Yea. All their princes as Abab. And as Zalmunna. Who said, let us take to ourselves. The houses of God in possession. Oh my God. Make them like a wheel. As a stubble before the wind. As the flame burneth they wood. And as the flame set the mountains on fire. So persecute them. With thy tempest. And make them afraid. With thy storm. Fill their faces with shame. That they may seek thy name. O Lord. Let them be confounded. And troubled. Forever. Yea. Let them be put to shame. And perish. That men may know. That thou. Whose name alone. Is Yahweh. Art the most high. Over all the earth.
So Facebook. Oops. right, you may be seated. Let's clap it up for the Most High. All right, so today, as I said before, topics are going to be a lack of knowledge. Now, I'm pretty sure y'all all heard that saying before that, knowledge is power. And, we're going to show you just some examples, in the Bible of why knowledge and wisdom, also just learning in general about who you are, who we are as a people, the nation of Israel, and why it is so important and what a lack of knowledge will actually do to you and what it has continued to do for the past, 400 plus 500 years now.
Right.
Y'all see, we go over a little bit every single class. We talk about the condition of, us as a nation right now, like kind of like how last class, we talked about some brothers and sisters who are doing good financially and stuff. We talk about that a little every class. For example, Moses, he was doing better than the nation, than our nation in general. But even in his status, if you want to call it that, he still chose to side with his nation and obey the Most High and shepherd his people.
That's right.
Wow.
So, we're just going to go over a little bit of that today, and we're going to be going over 1 Kings chapter 3, verses 1 to 7. Of course, we're going to be reading it in the Hebrew, and then we'll cover it in the English. You good?
All right. 1 Kings chapter 3 on 1.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the book of 1 Kings chapter 3 and verse 1 in the Hebrew. Shalamaha ata yapa raiha malaka ma'ai yum waya lacha ata yabata yapa raiha waya baya aha alaya ayaka ka so like it dawada I da bala tawa laba na wath ataya baya sawa wa ata taya bayath Yahawaha taya kawa math yada wa shalom Saba yaba ra dak ha'im maza ba kayam bumwat baya la'a ya naba naba naha bayata lasham yahawaha ida haya mayam haham pa waya ahaba shala maha ataya hawa waha lalab taba kawath dawada abaya yawa daka wath hawa maza baka wama pata yad. I think I'm on 4 now. Daya la ka hama la ka gaba I naha laza baka sham baya haya haba maha haga dawa laha ala pa Ila wata ya I laha shala maha Ila hama zabach hawa bagana I wa nada ha Yahawa ha ala yasha lamaha baka lawam hala yalaha waya mada ala hayam sha'ala maha ata zaya lakha waya mada shalama maha ataha aisha yata I'm ya I ba daka Dawada, Abaya, Kasada, Gadawala, Shada, Halaka, Lapa Naya Yaka, Math, Waba Tazar, Daka Ha, Waba Yasha, Doth, Lababa, Imaka, Wata Shamada Ya Lawa, Ataya. I'm on 7 now.
Okay.
Did it stop at 7 or
Just read 7. And
okay, Carl. Ataya Ataha Hamala La Kata Atha Ya I Ba Daka Thakada Dawada Abaya Nakaya Naida Kata Taza, so like a Kata Za La Ada I Taza Ata Waba.
let's clap it up. All right, so we're going to be going over 1 Kings chapter 3, verses 1 through 7 in the English now. And Solomon made affinity with Pharaoh, king of Egypt. Affinity is pretty much like a like, or it can also mean like attraction to, or, taking a liking to. So Solomon made affinity with Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and took Pharaoh's daughter and brought her into the city of David until he had made an end of building his own house and the house of the Lord and the wall of Jerusalem round about. Verse 2, only the people sacrificed in high places, because there was no house built unto the name of the Lord until those days. And Solomon loved the Lord, walking in the statutes of David his father. Only he sacrificed and burnt incense in high places. And the king went to Jabin to sacrifice there, for that was the great high place. 1,000 burnt offerings did Solomon offer upon that altar. And Jabin the Lord appeared to Solomon in a dream by night. And God asked, ask what I shall give thee. Now, this is very important right here. And Solomon said, thou hast showed unto thy servant David, my father, great mercy. We cover, King David quite a bit. A very well-known brother. And if you don't know already, King David was a brother that was after the Lord's own heart. And he loved the Lord. He made a few mistakes along the way, but Lord showed mercy upon him because he showed what he was willing to do for the Most High. All right. Thou hast showed, that's how showed unto thy servant David, my father, great mercy, according as he walked before thee in truth and in righteousness and in uprightness of heart with thee. And thou hast kept for him this great kindness. Because Lord did a lot for King David. He pretty much, damn near had everything he wanted. Wouldn't you say, not to say?
Right.
He was a very powerful brother. Even before he was King David, he was David. who at one time served under our first king, King Saul, who we talk about quite a bit. Not somebody that you should really model yourself after. Saul was, for the lack of a better term, he was just wicked, right? And King David, despite all that, he stayed true, he stayed righteous, and the Lord saw that through his actions. And in righteousness and uprightness of heart with thee, and thou hast kept for him this great kindness, that thou hast given him a son to sit on his throne, as it is this day. Verse 7. And now, O Lord my God, thou hast made thy servant king instead of David my father. But I am but a little child. I know not how to go out or come in. And thy servant is in the midst of thy people, which thou hast chosen, because we are the Lord's chosen people, Israel,
Right.
a great people that cannot be numbered nor counted for multitude. Verse 9. Give therefore thy servant an understanding heart. So just to pause real quick. We're already reading how the Most High came to Solomon, King Solomon at this time, through a dream. And the Lord is presenting something to him. Pretty much, letting him know, like, ask whatever you want right now, and I will give it to you. Right? So Solomon, you kind of see he's kind of like going through his thoughts. He's looking at the great things that the Most High has not just done for him, but his father, King David, and pretty much his family, his lineage. So you got to think, this is the Most High we're talking about right now, right? The power. And the Most High is coming to Solomon, telling him, asking you shall receive. You got to think, for somebody to be, like the average person to be in that position, I'll be honest with you, the average person, they're going to ask for most likely material things, something that would please the flesh, because, we've been so deprived for so long. But Solomon does something a little different right here. He said, give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people, that I may discern between good and bad. For who was able to judge this, thy so great a people? This is when Solomon asked for wisdom. An understanding heart is knowledge, okay? He wanted to know how to properly govern his nation, properly in the sight of the Lord. Verse 10. And the speech pleased the Lord, that Solomon had asked this thing. And God said unto him, because thou hast asked this thing, and hast not asked for thyself long life, neither hast asked riches for thyself, nor hast asked the life of thine enemies, but has asked for thyself understanding to discern judgment. So the Most High is recognizing this, right? Because you gotta think, this is King Solomon right now. Like this, he at this time is a very powerful brother. Okay, he has a lot of pull on a lot of things. He could have asked for anything he wanted, and the Most High recognized that. He could have asked for more riches. He could have asked for more money, gold, silver, whatever the currency was at that time. He could have asked for a longer life so that he can reign over Israel even longer, right? He could have asked for the life of thine enemies. He could have asked to, I want to know a way to slay all my enemies in, bloodshed. But he did it though, right? He asked for wisdom. So this is what the Most High does. The book of 1 Kings chapter 3, verse 12. Behold, I have done according to thy words. Lo, I have given thee a wise and an understanding heart, so that there was none like thee before thee, neither after thee shall any arise like unto thee. Verse 13. And I have also given thee that which thou hast not asked, both riches and honor, so that there shall not be any among the kings like unto thee all thy days. And if thou wilt walk in my ways to keep my statutes and my commandments, as thy father David did walk, then I will lengthen thy days. So the Most High, like, he just gave King Solomon what he wanted and then some. Because he could have asked for all those things, but the Most High was so impressed, for what this brother was willing to do. He could have asked for anything else, but this was an act of selflessness for Solomon, right? Because we cover this literally like every single class. We have a lot of brothers and sisters today who financially wise in society are doing a lot better than our nation as a whole. And they, believe it or not, have a little bit more pull in certain places, a little bit more access to certain things. But we ask ourselves every day, I mean, what did they do for us? We covered what, Jay-Z last week? We was talking about how, the brother's he's a billionaire now. He's a billionaire, him, Beyonce, and he looked out, okay, I guess you could say for a couple of people, but what is he really doing for us? And it's not just Jay-Z. I ain't gonna talk about just him. It's a lot of celebrities, right? What have they ever really done for us? Our so-called black leaders today and of the past. Everybody loves to talk about Martin Luther King and this, that, and the third, but what did he really do? All he really did was make an entire generation of black people, what's the word? Docile. That's all he did, and he later regretted his actions. But they don't tell you that, right? There's a reason why they don't tell you things like that, because with a lack of knowledge, you have no power. Okay? You need to know, like, we're going over Solomon right now and what he prayed for. He wanted knowledge, right? He wanted to have an understanding heart. We as a people, we need to follow this example and have an understanding heart. And I mean, in a sense, we should pray for wisdom every single day, because, I mean, think about it. We all come from different walks of life, Before we came into this truth, we knew nothing. We thought we knew something, we thought we knew a little something, but we didn't really know anything that would truly help our people. We've tried many different things, right? You try working a 9 to 5. You try working to work up the corporate ladder. You go to college, not discerning from anybody to go from going to college. You do what you got to do, get that degree if you need to. You go to college, we in the hood, we gang banging, we robbing, we stealing, we killing. Brothers joining Esau's military. We do all these different things in hopes that maybe we can try to build up our nation in some way. But we always end up coming up short. But why? For a lack of knowledge. That's the problem. And I mean, I can go on all day. Like, for example, it starts even when we're young. It is, we need to really understand what the Most High is doing for us right now. He is letting us know and waking our people up to know who we really are as a nation. Before, for example, before I came into this truth, I didn't know what Judah was, and then I found out, I just thought I was black or I'm African American, right? I didn't really know how to identify myself. But then I come into the truth and I found out that I'm from the tribe of Judah. Salakia Swab, what tribe you from?
Gad, sir.
Tribe of Gad, which is the so-called native Indians today. But before the truth, I mean, you never hear stuff like that. You hear of natives and stuff like that, but the oppressor, he just tries to tell us that, natives were savages. They were just some cavemen living off the land and stuff. What they don't teach you is that they try to say the Pilgrims, really who they were colonizers and conquistadors. That was the oppressor. When they came to this country, the natives taught them how to actually properly live. They taught them how to bathe. Like, really think about that. All the diseases that we have now, the so-called white man brought that over. Because they didn't really know how to govern their animals and stuff like that. Like, they was cooking and stuff, but they had the chickens running around and cows and pigs. You got feces all over the place. They were sleeping around the animals and stuff. So all those diseases and germs, they were just catching all that, and they were dying. They were dying at a very fast rate because, believe it or not, I know this is gonna sound a little crazy to y'all. Y'all can read it up if you want to. They weren't properly bathing. They didn't understand the concept of like cleanliness. They didn't understand like soap. Like things that we kind of take for granted of today. Like, to us, personal hygiene is like a must. It's a way of life. They didn't have that though. They didn't know how to properly how to properly grow crops. Their crops were dying. Okay, and guess what? Our native Indian brothers and sisters, the Gadites, they showed them how to properly live off of the land.
Right.
They provided them with knowledge. And of course, we covered this a few times. What did the oppressor do? He killed them, committed damn near genocide, kidnapped their women, had the audacity to make a Disney movie of it, Pocahontas. Like, it's like, it's some forbidden love, where Pocahontas just fell in love with some white man. No, that's not what it was. Those Gadite sisters were going through hell, just like how we're going through hell today. Okay, this is why knowledge is so important to our people. I know I'm just speaking off, just Judites in general. All we're taught is you were a slave. That's it. All throughout high school, you're taught that you were a slave. Your ancestors, your great granddaddy, your great grandma were slaves, and we served under the oppressor. They don't teach you who you were before that, though. They don't teach you how you got there. They tell you, oh, well, yeah, you're African American. That's what they teach you, which right there, lack of knowledge. And here you're going to learn that you're not actually African. Those are the Hamites. We say that every single time. But why is that important? Because with a lack of understanding, we try to side with other nations. We look for acceptance from other nations. We do this every single time. Why does that destroy us? Because we have no sense of, what's the word I'm looking for? No sense of independence as a nation. We're always kind of leaning on somebody else. But we've covered this a few times. Don't listen to heathens. They're not going to look out for you and have compassion for you the way our people do. Like the brothers next to me, we know like what struggle really is. We might be going through different things, but we can relate to each other. We have a sense of compassion for our brothers and sisters, all right? Because why? We're the same nation, so we can vibe with each other. Other nations, they can't do that with you. The Chinese, they can't do that with you. The Japanese, the so-called white man, the Jewish man, the Amalekites, Africans, they the ones they put us in slavery. They shipped us off. Right. The white man just took us, right? But your school will teach you blacks owned black slaves, which is false. That's wrong. So, you got any input on that? Not to Zach before I continue.
I mean, it's just it just shows you where the Most High's mind state is at. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he said, like Solomon could have prayed for. He could have asked for riches. He could have asked for, his enemies to be killed or whatever like that, or to be destroyed. He could have asked for all these carnal things, but what he asked for was more so not just for him. It was for his whole nation. He wanted to make sure that he was prepared to give judgment to those that come to him and ask him for judgment. You know what I mean?
Right.
He wanted to make the right choices. He didn't want to lead his brothers and sisters into a position where he's giving up false information. You know what I mean? So he prayed not just for him, he prayed for, his people. You know what I mean?
Right.
His people in his kingdom. So he asked for knowledge. He didn't ask for the riches. He didn't ask for and we get like that sometimes being in Israel. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't gonna lie, I get like that too. Like I just be wanting to beg the Lord, like Lord, just drop a check. You know what I mean? Right. Like something like let me hit this lottery ticket real quick, like something. Like, you know what I'm saying? You get there because, you know what I'm saying, we in hell right now, and we dealing with this hellish time right now. You know what I mean? We dealing with these hellish conditions. You know what I'm saying? So it shows you what you should be really kind of basing your mindset on. It shouldn't just be about you. Right. You know what I mean? Have a purpose to something that can uplift your brothers and sisters when you ask for something, when you come to the Lord. Right. You know what I'm saying? Have something that if it's going to be for anything, it's going to be for something that doesn't just benefit you, it benefits the nation. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Don't just come to the Lord, because he was pleased with what Solomon did. He was pleased with what he said, because he knew, like, you know what I mean? Okay, I'm the Lord. Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like we know we have we know we have a power that can just do anything. You know what I mean? He can drop a bag on us. He can drop like, you know what I mean, anything on us that could be carnal, but it's just like, okay, where do we go from here? Like Solomon asked for knowledge, which led him in a position where he was not only able to get all those things that he could have asked for, but he was able to get more than that. You know what I mean?
Right.
He was able to get the riches because he had knowledge to get riches. He was able to destroy his enemies because he had knowledge of how to destroy his enemies.
Exactly.
He was able to, you know what I mean? He was able to give advice to his people and give correct advice because he had the knowledge. And it just shows you what we really need to focus ourselves on. I know it gets weary out here sometimes, and it gets hard. And you see them bills just lingering around like some damn, you know what I mean? Like a damn itch that don't go away. You know what I'm saying? We see these bills in front of us, but it's always best to stay, like, just know that you're on a test and to stay selfless in that moment. You know what I'm saying? Don't just think about the situation that's at hand. And then honestly, it's teaching me a lot too, because I get there too sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Right, man.
I get there too sometimes, and it's just like, don't just focus on yourself. Focus on the job at hand. You know what I mean? The job at hand is us helping our people. You know what I'm saying? Helping us out of this situation. Not just us, but you know what I mean, the ones around us. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But that's all I got on that.
Yeah, and if I could actually, can I get Hosea chapter 4 verse 6, and then after that I'll be reading Isaiah chapter 5 verse 13. Yeah, Hosea.
Kind of. The book of Hosea chapter 4 and verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God. I will also forget thy children.
Okay, now that's very important, right? We are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Now let's go a little deeper into that. I'm gonna read Isaiah chapter 5 verse 13. Therefore my people are gone into captivity, because they have no knowledge, and their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst. We went into captivity for a lack of knowledge, because the Most High rejected us, because, you know, if all of Israel understood that our forefathers, right? We went over this last class. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob were given the covenant. Okay, those are our forefathers. We are a special people. We were allowed to know and have the knowledge of what pleased the Lord, but we rejected that. So therefore, the Lord rejected us. Okay, now we're just lost sheep with no shepherd. You see what happens to a sheep with no shepherd. They just kind of wandering around aimlessly. You know, the wolves get to just kind of pick them off or whatever. That's us today. And the wolves are these heathen nations. Okay, they get to have a shot at everything that we have because we don't really know who we are. Now look at other nations. Okay, I talked about earlier how, you know, we can only date back our history for what, 400 something years,
right?
But you go to, like, you know, these other nations. Okay, let's talk about the oppressor. The oppressor will tell you all day about who he is, and he takes so much pride in it. Okay, he'll talk about the Greeks, he'll talk about the Romans, he'll talk about the Vikings and all that. You know, he'll say all those things. He lies about a lot of it, obviously. You know, he'll try to water it down and make it seem like, you know, he just kind of eased his way into everything. Like Christianity is one of the biggest demons out there, because Christianity was built off of the slaughter of our own nation. Okay, and they forced us to believe in some false religion that has absolutely nothing to do with us. Okay, but going back to the oppressor, he'll tell you he can somewhat date back to who he is as a person, right? And it ain't just Esau. Okay, the Ammonites and the Moabites. You heard about the Chinese dynasty, the Japanese dynasties. You know, they they can date back their culture back for so many centuries, okay? Because they know who they are as a people. Maybe not according to the Bible, they may know, but my point being is that they know who their nation is and they take pride in it. We don't, though.
Right.
Because we have no knowledge. We don't know who we are. Okay. And you got to look at the mindset behind that and why it's so important, because going back to being taught that you were a slave, we have so many damn slave movies. Like, I'm so sick of it now. Like, it's ridiculous. When we don't have knowledge, we're a lost sheep. So we're looking for somebody to guide us. This is where the wolves come in, the heathen nations, the oppressor. Okay. He's the one that decides, okay, I'm going to guide you. But he just leads us into a burning pit. Okay. And we don't even see it because we're so desperate to have some type of leader that can guide us as a people, because we're so sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Right.
But if you're being taught that all you were was a slave, all you were was a savage, for our Hispanic brothers and sisters out there, you're actually a Spaniard, which you're not, okay? With no knowledge leads to confusion, okay? If you're being taught that you were a slave for so many years, guess what? You're going to believe that you are a slave. You're not going to have a sense of what's the separation from other nations, okay? Because that's all you know.
Right.
That's all we've been taught growing up. And it seemed harmless at first, right? Because, you feel like, I'm just learning about my history. But everybody else, you don't hear about them being slaves. You only hear about us. That's it. And that is a form of oppression in the mind right there, because now our children have grown up, they grow up and feel like, okay, well, this is just who we are as a people. It's kind of like we just accepted it. We just always going to be down in the dumps. We're going to live in the hood for the rest of our lives. We ain't never going to make it. It just is what it is. That's the condition of Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. And guess what? You're going to teach your kids the same thing. And then their kids are going to teach their kids the same thing. And it's just a cycle that's never going to stop, because you have a lack of knowledge and it destroys us. You got anything, Natazak?
Going in on that, like, that's the Lord. The Lord's not dealing with anybody who chooses to just be deaf and dull. Like, like, just right. You can't just expect the Lord to bless you and just not put any efforts into him. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
The only way you're going to even find out who the Most High really is through research. You know what I'm saying? That's what got us here. You know what I mean? We had a mind for, I really, 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 really love the Lord. I really love the Lord to the point where I'm not just about to sit back on my ass all day and just let someone keep telling me about who he is.
Exactly.
Only because it sounds good. I know what I'm doing is wrong, because I have not yet opened this book yet to even figure out what's really going on in here. I just keep listening to this guy on this podium keep telling me, oh yeah, well, he's just a God that's just going to keep giving me without me putting any efforts in on him. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But as much as okay, we can get into how women in the world are. You know what I'm saying? Women in the world, when it comes to God, they put no efforts in. Absolutely zero. You know what I'm saying? They expect the blessings, but they put no efforts in. But when they meet a new dude, you know what I'm saying? What are they trying to find out who his ex is? They trying to find out who his big mama is, how many kids he got, where's the last place he ate, where's the last place he slept. They want to know everything about that man. They're putting in all their efforts to get to know what he likes, what he don't like, all these efforts. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to God, I don't want to know who he is. I just want to know that, okay, he's going to give me this and he's going to give me that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like that mindset is what the Most High rejects. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? If you want the Lord, you need to research and find out who the Lord actually is, because you'll be sitting over here calling yourself a Sagittarius with an uncle on your chain. Man. You know what I'm saying? Just completely defiled, just completely serving so many different cultures that you don't even know who the Lord really is. Got the nerve to get on your knees and pray, and claim that the Lord loves you. How dare you even take in the time to say that the Lord loves you when you have spent absolutely no time trying to get to know who your God is? You know what I mean? The fact that we can sit there and say that the Lord only loves a specific people, and he says it specifically in this book, and people just get so frustrated when you tell them that. You know what I mean?
Fact.
You know why? Because you lack knowledge. You don't know the scriptures. You don't know this book. You didn't take in the time. You didn't love the Lord enough to take in the time to actually read. And that's your problem. Because if we're saying something that is offensive to you, when all we're doing is reading out the scriptures, and it's offensive to you, then that just means that you really don't know who your God is. That means that you serve a God that's not of this book. It amazes me how many people get upset, you know what I'm saying, when you tell them something about the Bible and they've never read it. They don't know anything about the Bible. All they know is the churches and the Catholic churches, and that's all they know. They know those teachings, but they'll get upset with you when you tell them something that's actually written in the book, and they know that they haven't read it at all. But they'll sit over here and try to defend to the death that, oh no, that's not God. He would never do that.
But it says it right there, though.
But it says it right here.
That's crazy.
So your emotions are you serve man. You serve yourself. You don't serve the Most High, because if you serve the Most High requires you to get into these scriptures. I mean, Christ requires you to get into this book. He says, I come in the volume of the book. You know what I'm saying? So in order to get to know Christ, you need to get to know these scriptures. So because you decide not to get into the book, it's just because you follow something else that's not of this book.
Salaki, if I could, not to Zach, what you're bringing out is so heavy. If I could ask you something, if you could describe our people today as a nation in one word, what would you say?
Destroyed.
Destroyed? Okay.
Destroyed.
What about you, Sawak? Destroyed?
No, destroyed.
Mm-hmm. No, y'all definitely right. Hell yeah, we are destroyed as a people. All right. And everything that you just brought up, just the things that we choose to follow, like zodiac signs, okay, I'm sorry, I gotta say something about that. Years ago, I want to say I was probably 16, 17, something like that. I ain't gonna lie to you. I had a phase in my life where I was really, really into zodiac signs. I found it so, I don't know what it was. I found it fascinating or whatever. But anyway, I'm reading about it and stuff. And if oh my goodness, if I didn't have at least some type of something in my spirit to tell me nah, this is BS, I would have listened to that stuff. So I read zodiac signs to a point where I could literally tell you each and every single zodiac sign and what they mean. Okay, supposedly, right? It's all garbage, but I could tell you that. So I got to mine, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I was pissed because the way it sounded. For anybody who knows, it was the zodiac sign was a Pisces. It's supposed to be like a fish, and I'm reading it, and they make you sound weak as hell. They try to say that a Pisces man is weak-minded, and it's a feminine sign. I'm like, what? No, that ain't me. I'm not accepting that. I was like, that's what finally kind of made me nah, this ain't it. Because if I believe in this garbage, I'm gonna become that. Okay, and I didn't want that. Because I've seen other brothers who were, what's that term that some people be saying? Getting in touch with his feminine side, which is just, opening up to homosexuality. That's really what it is. Shouldn't be an effeminate man. That's in the Bible too, if anybody wants to argue with me about it. So I seen that stuff and I'm like, man, this is garbage right now. So the reason why I asked y'all, how would y'all describe our people today? And y'all are absolutely right, destroyed, most definitely. I was going to say, our people today are very foolish. We're very foolish, right? And we're going to go over a little bit about what a fool is according to the Most High, and why it's such a horrible thing. So I'm going to be going over Proverbs chapter 1, verse 1. The Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel, to know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, and judgment, and equity, to give subtly to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion. A wise man will hear and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsels. To understand a proverb and the interpretation, the words of the wise and their dark sayings. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Kind of going over what you were talking about earlier. Your Christian pastor is a damn fool. He's a fool, okay? Because we talk about this all the time. The I.S.U.P.K, this isn't your Christian church, okay? If you want to go and wear some oversized, big, fluffy hat and catch the Holy Ghost or whatever, you can go to your Christian church. It ain't going to do nothing for you. Right. It's just going to make you feel good in the moment. Right. And Esau's so damn wicked, man, because he knew what he was doing. He made our people so distraught that we're like we went over last class, like we're always looking for a crumb, okay? And once we get that little crumb, we just take it and we run with it because we're so grateful. Like, oh, we finally got something now. Because your Christian pastor follows Edomite ideology, and it makes us more subservient to other heathens. How is that though, right? How is that? Well, for one, he lies to you. Your Christian pastor, like, I used to work for a pastor at one point. I think I was like, 14 or something like that. And I did not learn a damn thing. I hated going to church. I hated it so much, going with my mom and stuff, and she tapped me on the shoulder because I'm falling asleep. I hated it because I didn't learn anything. I didn't learn. It was the same BS every single time, talking about how the Most High loves you, but he never educated us. He never told us who the 12 tribes of Israel are. It clearly says that Esau was gunning for Jacob because he was upset that he got the blessing and he didn't. Okay, they don't go over that. They don't teach you about repentance. They make you feel like you can sin Monday through Saturday with whatever the hell it is you're doing. Come in on Sunday and God loves you, and then you go right back to doing what you would do. And then some of the stuff in here, it's like clear as day. The Levitical law, the dietary law, it clearly tells you not to eat swine. Right. But you go to Sunday service and they serving pork chops. Right. It tells you the type of fish that you can eat. Scales, fins, and gills. An octopus ain't a fish. A squid, that shrimp you love so damn much, them lobsters, them crabs, scallops, oysters, mussels, that is not lawful. But guess what? Somebody gonna bring that shrimp gumbo to Sunday service, and you gonna tear it up because it tastes so good. You know what shrimp's a roach, right? Yeah. It's a sea roach. It's in the same family as a roach. So if you think that's tasty, go pick up a roach and go boil it and go eat it and tell me how it tastes. Because I ain't gonna eat it. Okay. That's what your Christian pastor tells you though. Right. He makes you feel good in the moment, but in the end, it really doesn't do anything for you. Okay, you got sisters in there talking about I'm married onto Christ now. I don't need a man in my life. Yes, the hell you do. And first of all, it's something that you said, not to you said, Christ is the ultimate brother. Like, we strive every day to be like Christ. Okay. Let me ask you something. You don't want to listen to your man, right? Okay. If Christ was standing in front of you right now, hypothetically speaking, right? And that was your man, you don't think Christ not going to tell you what to do? You think Christ is going to be okay with you wearing a skimpy skirt and going to the club and shaking your behind with your friends? You think he going to be okay with you smoking on the back porch? You think he gonna be okay with you drunk texting your ex or whatever, some other dude you just met at the bar, and that's supposed to be your man? Come on now.
Man.
Come on. You come on. Christ ain't gonna tolerate none of that stuff.
And something you said that was so heavy too. You said Christ don't want you.
Christ don't want you. Like, come on. Like, be realistic. All right, your Christian pastor is making you live in a fantasy right now. And to touch a little bit more on that Christianity, the image of Christ, right? Caesar Borgia, that so-called white Jesus that you got in your church is a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But I ain't gonna tell you nothing that, I just made up. We can just go over it real quick. Can I get Revelations 1:14, Brother Kasha?
If I may too, like,
go ahead.
What you getting on is like so heavy because, lack of knowledge is what has us in the Christian churches.
Right.
Lack of knowledge is what has us in those Catholic churches. You know what I'm saying? All those, how can I say? All those things that they do on a day-to-day basis has absolutely nothing to do with the scriptures.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They'll open the Bible and they'll say something that's in the Bible that has absolutely nothing to do with nothing, and then they'll compare it to your struggle,
right,
just for you to relate. You know what I mean? They're no different than our oppressors. You know what I'm saying? They're no different than they're sitting over here feeding you a lie, or just for their own gain.
Exactly.
So they'll give you something to relate to, all on the facts of business. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The same things that had Christ flipping over tables. You know what I'm saying? Like you guys are stealing from the people. You know what I'm saying? And you're using their lack of knowledge. You're trying to make it seem as if, okay, I got the answers. When I'm speaking to you, I'm going to tell you what God said, because God speaks to me personally. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's what they do. They'll sit there and be like, oh, the Lord's telling me something right now. I'm looking at you right now, and I see a foundation of grass, mm-hmm, and you got to water your grass. Like, you know what I mean? Just a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah, nah.
They tell you a bunch of nonsense. Oh, then he's saying he's walking you through paying him. You know what I mean? Damn. Give me your money, and the Lord gonna give you this blessing that I'm prophesying on you right now. But he ain't gonna talk to you personally. He only talking to me. You know what I'm saying? So it's wicked. It's wicked as hell.
You're
so
absolutely right. It's like before we go.
You said Revelation?
Yeah, Revelations 1:14. Before we go there, sister said we got to learn to check ourselves. Something, not to not get offended. Yeah, absolutely right, sis. We got to stop. This is here in the I.S.U.P.K. and the Command in General YAHANNA. Brothers in here, like we had to learn from brothers that were better than us. Right. We had to humble ourselves and realize, okay, you know what? I really don't know nothing. Okay, so let me actually learn from a brother who actually knows something. You come into this school and now you learn something. And now we provide wisdom for our people. Because just to touch on something like you just said, your Christian church is stealing from you. Okay, during COVID, what happened? They closed.
Right.
We still here. Okay, free of charge.
Right.
You come in anytime when we open, and we gonna speak this good doctrine to you. Right. Okay, because we really love our people. Another sister said, finding our shrimp, our cousins to roaches, made me stop eating it very quickly. Hey, look, I'm with you, sis. Okay, because look, before I came into the truth, I'll keep it real with you. About a few years ago, I was a seafood connoisseur. Okay, right. If it came out of the sea, I was eating it. It pains me to say that today. Right. But
Shalom, sis.
Yeah, shalom, sis. It pains me to say that today, but I got to keep it real with y'all. I was eating a lot of that stuff too, but then somebody went way before I even found out about the truth. I really looked like at a shrimp. Right. And I'm like, something not right. And I found out that it was like, it's pretty much a bug. And I'm like, I'm out here eating sea bugs. Right. Like that. I'm like, this ain't it. And then I really really look at some of these unlawful animals. Like look at a crab. Mm-hmm. You ever try to grab it and it's just like get away from me. Like that's the Lord. Like don't eat me. Stay away. Like get away. I see like a crab
for you, player.
Yeah, for real. Like just back up. I got this. I'm gonna go over here. All right. Same thing with lobsters. Like they're unclean because you got to think of what they do. You heard that term. You are what you eat, right? Going back to the pork, because I know there's gonna be a lot of people who might see this. We say this every single time. You not supposed to eat that stuff. Not so says me, but so says the Lord. Okay, pigs, I found out like, okay, they have sweat glands, but it's very, very little. All that bacteria that they have, it stores in their body. They have natural parasites in their body. It's actually been scientifically proven that there is no safe temperature to cook pork to thoroughly get rid of all of the parasites out of it. So you can cook it well done. That's cool. You got parasites in it. And it takes forever for them things to get up out of you, if they ever get up out of you. But Salakia, you got Revelations 1 and 14?
Come on. The book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 14. His head and his ears, his head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burn in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters.
So if I could ask you a question now, does that sound like that white Jesus that's in that Christian church?
No, sound nothing like him. Don't sound absolutely nothing like him.
For real.
You know what I mean? You see a pale face, straight hair, thin, stringy hair, devil. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't see hair of wool and, you know what I mean, eyes of fire. Like, you don't see none of that stuff.
That sound like a brother.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. You know, eyes of fire. I'm like, that sounds intimidating.
Right.
What you got, sis?
I was just going to say, you know, even like in a Christian church, even with us knowing this scripture, we still like seem to, you know, and still worship that, you know, the white man. I mean, it's like we really, really brainwashed because we see what it say, but then we worship from him, and we know that that's not him because the Bible don't say, you know, the appearance how, you know, the Most High look is not what we see.
Right.
But we still worship it. You know, we're not,
Yeah.
I don't know that way. The Bible don't say that. That's
Right.
not, we just don't see it. We just like,
And that fact too, like it just shows you who's right and who's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like you can only deny something for so long to the point where it's just like, all right, something wrong with this. You know what I mean? Like if you have a pale face, you know what I mean, devil hung up in your church, and you're, you know what I mean, and if you read this scripture, and you got that pale face devil in your church, then obviously something's wrong with your facility. Something's wrong with the because the church I used to go to, they had that. You know what I'm saying? Right. They had them on the wall. They had Session Bourget on the wall. They didn't care. Like it didn't matter. Like, you know what I mean? And it goes to show you like how far you are from the scriptures, because they're not going to read that to you. They're not going to read that to you. They're not going to read that Christ told you to follow the laws. They're not going to read that, you know what I mean, the Most High said that you will follow these laws for tens and thousands of generations. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to read these type of things because they have an agenda. They have an agenda, and their agenda is to get, because when you're in these churches and you're teaching people whatever they want to hear about gain. You know what I mean? When you teaching them exactly what they want to hear, which is gain, you know what I mean? You're gaining from them, and you don't have to pay no taxes. You don't have to, you know what I mean? You're gonna get rich off of the poor. You know what I mean? You're gonna get all your money from the poor, and you're gonna become rich, and you're gonna leave them at the bottom to just keep on praying for hope. Keep on praying. Keep them in a hopeful. You got to keep them hopeful. Keep the conditions real bad, and keep them hoping that something is going to come to them. Damn. And it never does. You know what I mean? It never does. A pastor will sit there and look you right in your face. You getting a check this week? Yeah, that check will not come. You know what I mean? That check will not come. You'll still be struggling, and maybe I just didn't give enough. Maybe I wasn't faithful enough. Like, you know what I mean? You got to understand, the Lord just doesn't deal with gain. You know what I'm saying? The Lord dealt with King David, and King David, most of his life, he was, you know what I mean, down in the dumps. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't always up. You know what I mean? You're gonna be in hellish positions, and the Lord is still gonna be with you.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's one thing we tend to keep teaching in here is that when you are serving the Lord, you're going to have temptations. You're going to walk through the fire. You're going to have certain things that are going to happen to you that are going to hurt you. You know what I mean? And are going to hinder you. And that's the point. Like most of the time when you're walking through this, it's going to be a big burden trying to hold you down. You know what I mean? You're not always just going to gain. You can't think of it as, oh yeah, my life sucks because I'm just not gaining anything. Like you got to think of it as, all right, if the Most High is putting me through this, that means that something big is coming. You know what I mean? Something big is coming. And all I got to do is just pass this test, stay faithful, and just keep serving. You know what I mean? Keep working, and let this situation, this hell, be a learning experience. You know what I mean? And once I get through it, then I'm through it. Like, you know what I mean? I'm done with it, and learn from it and move on. Like,
right.
The church is not going to teach you that. The church is going to teach you, oh, because you're in a low state is because you're not faithful enough. You're not giving enough. You're not willing to give your all and to give a whole check for the Lord. So the Lord is not going to give you anything because you're not willing to give. You know what I mean? You got to be willing to give to us if you're going to gain anything. So you'll be walking through your whole life going through hell thinking that you're doing something wrong and the Lord ain't with you because, you know what I mean? You struggling right now. And that's not it. You know what I mean? You got to struggle in order to get to the other side. Right. You know what I mean? You got to go through those life learning experiences in order to step to the other side. But because of lack of knowledge, we don't know that. We think that we go into this whole mindset that because God is a power, that he should just be blessing us at all times. Mm-hmm. He should just be giving to us at all times. And if he's not giving to us, then obviously we're doing something. He must not be angry or upset with us. And it's not like that. It's not like that. And it's lack of knowledge. It's lack of knowledge. We have to get the knowledge of who the Most High really is. You know what I mean? You're going to have battles. You're going to have wars. You're going to have times of struggle. You're going to have hell to deal with. How you get through it is going to be when you get to that other side and you able to accomplish walking out of that and being unscathed and being unkilled, you get to appreciate it a lot more. You know what I'm saying? You appreciate it a lot more because you walk through hellish conditions to get to where you at right now. Mm-hmm. That's all I got.
No, you absolutely right. Like what you brought out was heavy. Like you got to go through that fire. Like, you know, for anybody, you know, I know we all know, like we've been in the school. For any like new brothers and sisters who are coming into the school, you know, we just want you to understand, like, it's not like this isn't like some magical place. Like, it's not like you just come in here and all of a sudden, okay, you know, all my problems are gone now. You know, I finally found the truth. I'm good now. No, that's not how it works. You got to work. You got to work. And a lot of that, you're going to get your spirit is going to be tested. Okay. Because I say this a lot, like, you know, before you come into the truth, you were married on to Satan, you know, and it's just facts. You know, you might have thought of yourself as like a good person and stuff, but you were still partaking in some wicked things. You just didn't know. But now you know now, and you turned away from it. Hey, Most High in Christ, right? But Satan isn't just going to let you go. Okay. But now, again, going back to like the knowledge and the wisdom, now you learn how to deal with Satan. Okay. Because before, Satan is just jabbing you and you just taking it like, you know, like I'm so depressed and, you know, I don't know if I'm going to make ends meet. You know, I don't, you know, Slaki, who is this? I forgot the man name, but the white man that they show in it. Yeah, that's
Caesar Borgia.
Yes, that's Caesar Borgia. That's that false image that the white man puts in our churches. And, you know, both of y'all brought up a very heavy point. Like, we see that. Like, I remember going to church too. Like, it's all black people in this church. And then you look to the left and there's this big old picture of Caesar Borgia right there. And because of a lack of understanding, like it's crazy thinking about it now, but you never really question it. It's just there. And even though it says, we just read it in Revelations 1:14-16, the image of Christ, that did not sound anything like the picture that I was brought up to believe in.
Right.
Okay, so somebody's lying somewhere. Okay, but the oppressor does that because of a lack of knowledge. The truth could be staring us right in front of the face, and we're just ignorant. Okay. Now, ignorant doesn't necessarily mean stupid. I know you hear that term a lot. Ignorance is someone who has a lack of knowledge. That's literally what it is. Okay. We were fools in a sense. Don't be a fool now though, because now you have an opportunity to learn your true heritage. You have an opportunity to really know what's right and what's wrong. Okay. Wisdom, you can apply that to a lot of things. If I could, what was I going to go over? What is this? Oh yeah, Slakia. Proverbs chapter 18, verse 2. And this is referring to like what a fool is. Don't be a fool, okay? The book of Proverbs chapter 18, verse 2. A fool hath no delight and understanding, but that his heart may discover itself. Okay? This is, you bump into this a lot. Okay, I'm pretty sure every single brother and sisters, we've bumped into somebody who, it doesn't matter how much knowledge you putting out, even though they may know that you're right? But they want to lean onto, what is that saying? Can I get Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5, Baba Kasha? They like to lean onto their own understanding. That's like that pleasing the flesh, okay? We want to do what we think is right. But the thing is, it doesn't work. Okay, we've been doing it for all these years, and guess what? We still haven't been doing any better. You got Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5?
The book of Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart.
Right.
And lean not unto thine own understanding.
Your own understanding. Any more on that?
Nah, that's it.
Okay, so yeah, lean not unto your own understanding, because what can destroy you, okay? Because we're human, we have emotions, okay? Don't always react on your emotions all the time, because that can lead to more problems. For example, okay, let's say a brother does something that offends you, right? Now, the Lord kind of shows you, let me see if I can find it real quick. Okay, we're going to be in Proverbs for a little bit, Salakia. Can I get, I'll tell you what, I'll get Ephesians chapter 4, verse 29. Could you give me Proverbs chapter 6, verse 16? This is some specific I want to bring up real quick. Ephesians chapter 4.
Did you have some, Swap? Did you have some? Okay.
So weird. Okay, verse 29. Okay, so I got Ephesians chapter 4, verse 29. So I get next one over. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. You got Proverbs 6:16?
Come.
You can read that real quick, please.
The book of Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 16. These 6 things doth the Lord hate.
Mm-hmm.
Yea, 7 are an abomination unto him.
Mm-hmm.
A proud look,
Mm-hmm.
a lying tongue,
Mm-hmm.
and hands that shed innocent blood,
Mm-hmm.
and heart that deviseth wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren.
Okay, can you read that last part real quick? That last verse one more time, please.
Verse 19.
Mm-hmm.
A false witness that speaketh lies,
Mm-hmm.
and he that soweth discord among brethren.
Soweth discord among brethren. This is gossiping. Okay, this if I could real quick, this is something that I personally had to learn at one point. Gossiping that can cause discord among brethren. Even though, that's going back to leaning towards, this is for sisters too, leaning towards your own understanding.
Right.
Let's say somebody does something that it may offend you, right? Or you might have offended them. Talk to that person, okay? Be wise about it. I ain't saying run up on them screaming and yelling. That's not what I'm saying. Talk to that person. Get an understanding. Who knows? Maybe what they said, they might have not even known that they offended you. That's a key thing amongst brotherhood and sisterhood. We need to learn proper communication, because with no communication, that's a lack of knowledge right there. You're not really getting your point across, or you start thinking things. That's Satan attacking you right there. Like if a brother does something to me, I don't know, he might have said something, and I'm just so mad now. But I never talked to the brother. I'm just mad now. I'm just I don't really want to rock with him like that. He said this, that, and the third, but I never bring it up, and I let it fester in my brain for so long. Why can this cause discord? Let's say that brother needs help. Let's say his car break down one day, and he's calling brothers, but nobody's picking up right now, and I'm the one brother that picks up. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm not going to come get you because you said this about me and I'm not rocking with you right now. So now I'm going to let you suffer. That's evil and wicked as hell. Okay?
Yeah.
Don't lean onto your own understanding, because when you start leaning onto your own understanding of things and not what it says in the Bible, believe it or not, in a sense, you're not even leaning onto your own understanding. That's Satan in your head telling you lies. And you're going to go to that now. And it's going to cause, like it says, discord amongst brothers and sisters. We all we got, okay? These heathens, we covered this before, like these heathens can't do nothing for you. For Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, what was it, 44 presidents? We've had 44 presidents, and what is it? 44 presidents, 43 of them were Edomites. One of them was a Hamite.
Right.
How we doing as a nation? We not good. we not good. Okay. We all we got. Okay. Learn to love your own people. Okay. Just for once in your life. Okay. Learn to love. Learn to communicate. Be wise about how you deal with things. Okay. Also, another thing that you could take with wisdom, how you deal with people in the world. Because there's a lot of brothers and sisters who are still in the world today. Lord allow, we'll get more of them in the school. But I bumped into a few that have asked some questions in the past about, well, how do you deal with that? Because you might have, there might be brothers in the school who have a rib that's not in the school. She might still be in the world, or vice versa. You might have friends that you might have grew up with and they still doing whatever the hell they doing, but now you in the truth. Be wise about it, okay? Be mindful. Don't always, how can I say this? Let's see. Be mindful of what you partake in. Like, for example, if I'm walking down the street and some white boy says hi to me, I mean, I could say hi. Is that a sin? No, it's not a sin. Okay. No. At your slave, more than likely you won't be working with heathens anyway. So there's nothing wrong with greeting or anything like that. But be wise about what you get into. Now, if they start inviting you to come over the house and stuff, and you start going over there and they cooking up pork chops, it's probably unseasoned anyway. Don't even eat that stuff. But, and you start eating it. Hold up now. Okay, now you're dwelling into wickedness. Okay, that's not okay. Be mindful. We all have different personalities. Some brothers and sisters, they just completely cut them out. Like, oh, nope, can't talk to you. You over there. Hey, if that's what you got to do, so be it. If that's what you got to do to stay righteous, you do it. Some brothers and sisters, they can still kind of communicate a little bit, but they know when to back off. Like, okay, you know what? They doing that. I'm go over here. I see you tomorrow at work. I'll play ball with you or whatever, but that's about it. Right. We're just going to keep it at that. You can be cordial to a certain extent, right? And also another thing, if I could real quick, with wisdom, knowing what a friend is. Okay, you hear a lot of Christians, what they say. What is it? Only God can judge me. You hear that a lot. if I could real quick, can I get John 7 and 24?
Seven to 24.
Come.
Slakia. The book of John, chapter 7 and verse 24. Judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment.
Okay, well, y'all have heard that before, right? Never judge a book by its cover.
Yeah.
That's an old saying. All right, you need to judge the people around you by their actions. Okay, we've covered this a few times. Love is an action. Okay, how do you show that you really care for someone? Through your actions. I can sit here and say, okay, I love my brothers and sisters. I can say that all day. What am I actually doing to show that, though? In their time of need, am I going to help them? Am I going to lie to them? Am I going to try to fight them because, we got into a disagreement about something? All right, am I going to abandon them? No, that ain't love, okay? You got to take that into account with your family, too, okay? We all got, aunts, uncles, stuff like that. If somebody offering you a cigarette, that ain't love.
All right.
Straight up. Hey, nephew, you stressed out. Hey, come smoke with your uncle real quick. No, that's not love. All right. Now, to each his own, that brother has a lack of knowledge. He doesn't know. He thinks he's doing something good for you. Like, remember we used to smoke and stuff like that? We just going to kick back, talk about some things. And you just, again, drinking is not a sin. All right. Being a drunkard and alcoholic is, though. We covered that before. If you got a drinking problem, whatever, and some brother come up to you and they just want to just get blacked out all the time, and they're like, "Hey, come with me, let's get that ain't love." Okay.
Right.
Telling. Ooh. Okay. Here's another one. This one's for sisters. If a sister is going through something with her man, and you start telling that sister, "Oh, he ain't good enough for you. You need to leave him. He not treating you like that's not love.
Right.
That ain't love at all. She's trying to destroy your marriage.
Mm-hmm.
But why though? Because that's a lack of understanding. You may think you're doing something good. This is why the Lord said, "Don't lean into your own understanding," because it leads to destruction. This is the things that our people continue to go through today because we don't really know who we are. We know, in the school, okay, but look at the I.S.U.P.K, the brothers and sisters that are in here as pertaining to the nation of Israel in general. There's more of us that are not in here than there are of us that are actually in here.
Right.
So that says a lot. Okay. Well, Sagi, before I continue, you got anything not to say?
I mean, like, okay, so we're going into the things that the Most High hates or that he doesn't agree with.
Right.
And we can go into the things that pretty much it all kind of just bases on, having the knowledge of knowing what the Most High agrees with and what he doesn't agree with. Mm-hmm. You don't set yourself on thinking that whatever pleases you is what the Most High wants. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Don't ever put yourself in a position that your pleasure means that the Most High has some type of favoritism towards you. You know what I'm saying? Like we can get blinded off of that too. You know what I'm saying? Off of feeling like, okay, a reward means that we're doing something right. You know what I'm saying? Like those things don't justify it. You know what I mean? Like the Lord's saying, don't judge off of an appearance. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people who are rich and thriving through this nation right now, they're wicked as hell. You know what I mean? So only because they're receiving something or they're being rewarded with riches doesn't mean that they're not wicked. There's going to be people around you who despise what you do. You know what I'm saying? And you might see them doing better than you. That's all not going to matter in a minute. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like those people might have a little side hustle and they doing pretty well for themselves. They're not struggling to, you know what I mean? But you going through this struggle of trying to figure out how you're going to get this bill paid and this bill paid, and the people who despise the Most High and are in your ear all day are telling you, oh yeah, what you're doing is wrong, and you know what I mean, like you're being wicked and you need help and all that stuff like that. There's going to be a time period where all those things that they are gaining means nothing, because I forgot what the scripture is, but you can't pay your way into the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You're whatever you have or whatever they have, when that time period comes, which is coming very, very quickly, you know what I mean? When that time comes for the time of judgment, and it's time for people to start being judged, you could be flat on your ass, like with no money, no nothing, like, you know what I mean? But because you stay faithful to the Most High, you get to walk into that kingdom. Right. You know what I mean? You get to have your seat on the chariots. You know what I'm saying? And their money is not going to mean anything. They're not going to be able to pay for a spaceship to get them up out of here. No. You know what I mean? The Lord is going to hunt everybody down who was unrighteous to him, who blasphemed the name of the Lord. You know what I mean? In the time where you were giving so much, so much sacrifices, you were giving up everything. You gave it all up. You know what I mean? You gave it all up. And people look down on you, they laughed at you, they talk bad about you, and you stay faithful. That time period is going to matter. You know what I mean? Because you chose to have knowledge of the Most High and know exactly who he was, and you chose to serve him till there was nothing left. Now you get your seat on that chariot. Now you get your ranking in that kingdom. You know what I mean? And that's what we need to understand. Don't let an appearance fool you. You know what I mean? Don't let, only because sometimes the Most High will give someone everything they want because he doesn't want them. You know what I mean?
Damn.
He'll give you everything you want. He won't let you struggle at all. You know what I mean? Like, you won't have to face no struggle. You'll always have something to land on. You know what I mean? That's because he don't want you. Because you'll never know what struggle is. You'll never know what true love is, to love somebody unconditionally. Damn. You won't know that. You know what I mean? So he'll grant you everything. It's like it. He'll grant you everything that you want. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Just because, like how he would harden Pharaoh's heart. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes the magicians were able to do what Moses was doing. Why? It's because the Lord didn't want him tapping out yet. You know what I mean? He wanted him to stay nice and prideful. He wanted him to stay in that mindset that he's in. You know what I mean? Certain people that you see that blaspheme the Lord have a lot. They have a lot as far as what we see in society. Mm-hmm. Those Egyptologists who speak so low of the Most High, he wants you in a high position. Mm-hmm. He wants you to not have to struggle. He doesn't want you to feel any type of burden, because once you start feeling that burden, what you gonna look towards? What do we all do when we start feeling some type of burden? We get on our knees and we start praying. Yep. I don't want you to pray to me. I want you to keep blaspheming me. I want you to keep not feeling what struggle really is, because my people, they're going to go through that struggle. My people who really love me, they're going to seek me regardless if I show them my face or not. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to seek me. Those are the people that I want. You know what I mean? Real talk.
That's damn. That was heavy for real.
So don't get weary off of not having. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Being in a place of hell. Like, the Most High is going to make all this stuff fit to where it needs to fit. You know what I'm saying? Everything is going to match up to where it needs to match up. If you feel like you're being unsuccessful in this society because you're giving your all to serve the Most High, then he got you right where he wants you. You know what I'm saying? He got you exactly where he wants you, because it's easy to serve the Lord when you got it. It's easy to serve. It's easy to love God when you got something. You got when you're not doing without. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to love him. It's hard to sit there and keep being motivated and keep being faithful when he's taking everything from you. You know what I'm saying? It's hard, and that's what he wants, because you know what I mean, you're not just gonna walk into this kingdom. You're not just gonna walk into the kingdom. And some people are going through it a little bit harder than ever right now because that kingdom is just getting closer and closer. Mm-hmm. And those stages of him humbling this nation are like, we're going to start seeing stuff that we haven't seen before. You know what I'm saying? We're going to start seeing things, and then we're going to know. You know what I mean? That's why he's weaving them out. He's weaving out the people, because once times are hard, it's going to be easy to just jump on the bandwagon like, oh, yeah, okay, I'm ready to serve them now. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Because you want something.
Exactly.
Damn. Hey, if I could real quick, what you brought, like, for real, what you brought out was so heavy. Like, we're going back to what we were speaking on earlier. Like you said, like, it's so easy to, like, just, like when you on high and you're not going through nothing right now, it's easy to just, you know, thank the Lord and stuff like that until you're going through something. Now your faith is getting tested now.
Right.
How much do you really love the Lord? Okay. That's that, and that goes back to just no knowledge. Okay. Because think about it. What's stopping you from turning your back right now? For real. Like that, I think that is something that all of us gotta ask ourselves. What's stopping you right now? Do you really love the Most High? You know if you really do. The Most High knows if you really do too. Okay. Don't turn your back on this. Okay. Right. The Lord, like, you gotta remember, at one point, our ancestors were getting murdered for knowing how to read. Now we don't even want to pick up a book, and it's right there in front of us. We got all these different books talking about all the horrible things that the oppressor has done and continues to do to us today. And we'd rather get high, get drunk, go to the club, have sex with whores, be a whoremonger, right? You know, be a drug dealer, you name it, man. We'd rather do all that. And the knowledge is staring you right in the face, and you don't even realize it. And to some extent, some don't even want it because they're content with where they are right now, doomed by a lack of knowledge. Right. Okay. With wisdom comes power. Okay. It's like that saying, feed a man a fish, you feed him for a day. Teach a man how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. Okay. You need to actually get into class and learn these scriptures and learn who you really are as a people. And you'll start to slowly see what it does for you. Okay, you might not even realize how strong of a spirit you actually have until you come into this truth and you start going through things. Okay, because Satan won't tempt you, but believe that. Okay, we said this. We said this a few times. Like, them demons, they don't really leave. They're just kind of outside the door, and they're just waiting for you to open up. That's all. And the second you get a little weak, they just creeping through, man, to see if they can pry their way in through it. You gotta not. Slack, you gotta knock their ass out real quick and get them up out of there, right? Okay, and let them know that you here to stay, okay? Because you really love the Most High, okay? And you gotta prove it, okay? You gotta prove it, not just to the Most High. You gotta prove it to Christ. You gotta prove it to the Akim and Akwathim around you too, okay? Because the way I look at it, Slack, no. Let me rephrase myself. The way you should look at it is, behave as if somebody is watching you all the time. Because somebody is. You can't see them, but that angel that was appointed over you sees you.
That's a fact.
And they are watching every single thing that you are doing, both good and bad. Right. And they're reporting it back to the Most High. So you don't be one of those ones that, like, you talk good game, but behind closed doors, you're still being wicked. Okay? Right. Prove it through your deeds. If I could real quick, I want to go over 1 John chapter 3, verse 18. I got it right here for you.
You got it?
Yeah. The book of 1 John chapter 3, verse 18. My little children, let us not love in word, neither in tongue, but in deed and in truth.
Right.
You got to prove it. Man. Okay? You got to prove to the Most High what you really stand on. Okay? Because now he's providing you with the knowledge, with the wisdom that so many of our brothers and sisters never really had a chance to get. Seriously. There's a brother and a sister right now praying somewhere right now to know something, to get up out of this captivity, to really learn how to change their life right now. And they don't got it right now. Now, how the Lord works, the Lord might bring him in, but kind of like what you were saying before, there's some that the Lord, I mean, look, they blasphemed the Lord so much, he just gonna push them to the side. You stay over there. You can dwell in your riches and your drugs and all that stuff. That's cool. I know who really loves me,
Right,
and who doesn't. Okay, so ask yourself, what do you really want? Do you want more knowledge? Do you want more wisdom? Solomon, he was on high. Okay, he had everything that we could ever dream of, and all he wanted was wisdom, an understanding heart. He could have asked for more riches. He could have asked for a longer life. He could have asked for, the death of his enemies. And you know what's crazy? The Most High is so damn smooth that when he asked for that knowledge, he gave it to him and then some. And he ended up getting everything else because of the wisdom that he was given.
right.
Now you know how to, like you said earlier, you know how to get more riches. You know how to slay your enemies now. Okay? And the Lord gave him a longer life. Just for asking for wisdom. And he could ask for anything else. Before we close the class, you got anything else, Natazak?
I mean, that's a pretty heavy topic, man. Like we our destruction within our lack of knowledge, like to this day, we can still see the prophecies of the Bible coming into fruition and still neglect it. You know what I mean? And still push it away because we don't know really what's going on. You know what I mean? Because your pastor's not going to tell you, oh, it's the end of days. Your pastor's not going to, he wants you to have hope that you know what I mean? That right. you'll make it another day. Like it's going to get back to normal. He wants you to have that hope because he wants you to feel like, okay, well, it's still comfortable for me to keep coming back here. You know what I mean? And keep listening to this BS you keep telling me. So that's what he wants. So we're going to sit here and we're going to tell you the truth that it is coming to that time where Yahushua is on his way back. You know what I'm saying? Will it happen in this generation or the next generation? Who knows? You know what I mean? The Lord, but it could happen tomorrow. It could happen now. It could happen in a minute. You know what I mean? It could happen today. You don't know these things. So it's always good to keep yourself as knowledgeable as possible so you can prepare yourself for that time. You know what I'm saying? It's good to know that you are serving the Lord in a manner that he can smile down on you and he'll be able to give you mercy during a time period where it's time to destroy this earth. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? People like to play around with God a lot and it's fine. You know what I mean? You want to make yourself higher than God. Your gain means everything. And if the God you serve is like a genie and he just works to make sure that you get everything that you ask for. If you want that, okay, that's fine. You know what I mean? But if you really want the true God in the Bible, you know that you owe a debt. You know that you owe a debt to the Most High. You're not going to sit over here and just keep asking for things that are, you know what I mean, carnal to you. Like you're going to pray and ask for things that you can do to help him out. You know what I mean? You're gonna get down on your knees and you're gonna try to figure out what you can do to restore your debt that you owe, because you sat there and you decided to sin to the point where you could have died but you didn't.
Exactly.
The Most High spared you. So what are you gonna do to pay him back? You're supposed to give your whole life up. You know what I mean? So who are you to sit there and make it seem as if the Most High owes you something? You know what I'm saying? Personally, who are you? You obviously have a lack of knowledge of who the real true God is. So it's best for you to do what the Most High is saying. Read, learn him, learn his son, learn his ways of the spirit that you're supposed to be in and the spirit that you're supposed to follow. You know what I mean? Get all this knowledge, and then you might see a change in your life. You might see these damn snakes that you've been hanging out with leave and go do what snakes do. You know what I mean? You might see these people who've been talking down on you behind your back leave and disperse from you. You know what I'm saying? And the people that's been stealing from you, the people that's been, you know what I mean, the people that's been plotting to kill you, you might see them just leave and fall away from you because they see that you're not the same person. You ain't doing the same things that they want to do. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, they just want to die just as much as you wanted to die when you was in the world. You know what I mean? That's why you was smoking cigarettes back to back. That's why you were fornicating with whatever you could stick your thing into. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's why you were doing all these things, because you really wanted to die, really. You know what I mean? And sin was your only excuse to feel better about yourself. You know what I'm saying? So if you really want true knowledge of who God is, you know what I mean, pray for knowledge. Get into these scriptures and learn who the true God is. And then you'll start to see that, you know what I mean, God don't owe me nothing. He owes me absolutely nothing. You know what I mean? I owe him every single minute of my life. I owe him servants every day of my life, because he didn't kill me. He didn't kill my children. You know what I mean? He didn't kill my loved ones around me. He spared them because he knew what I was capable of doing.
Damn right.
So get your ass up and go do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I get.
Just like you said, people that feel like the Most High owes them anything, or people that have that genie mentality, like they just want to come to God for the blessings. You know,
right.
It's crazy because He's already given you everything. All He's asking you to do is follow the blueprint that He's giving you.
Right.
You don't have to ask for nothing. Just go through and do what you know what I'm saying. Do what you got to do. Do what you told to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, that's what I know. That's what Solomon understood. You know
Right.
And like you said, that mind frame, the gene mentality is rejected, but he accepted Solomon, man, because he understood. You know what I'm saying? I think the precept says, I could be wrong, but that's kind of supports that, is that Matthew 6:33 says, "First seek ye the kingdom of heaven."
Right.
Yeah, okay. No, you're right.
Yeah, that's what the mentality that Solomon had. You know,
That's a fact.
man.
That's a fact, and that's exactly what Solomon was. Solomon wasn't thinking about himself. He wasn't thinking about his own gain. He thought about sustaining his father's kingdom. You know what I'm saying? He didn't want to be a horrible king to the point where his kingdom would fall. You know what I mean? Eventually he got weak and tempted as he got older, but his motive was for him to be just as great as his father. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And he did that even more, and he did that and more. You know what I'm saying? He built the kingdom. He built the temple. You know what I mean? He did he might have messed up at the end, but he did some very noble things. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? When you reading what is it, Ecclesiasticus? You know what I'm saying? Wisdom of Solomon, all them stuff that was Solomon.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Solomon.
He was kicking knowledge. You know what I mean? He fell short at the end, but you know what I'm saying? That's why we have to learn from the mistakes that are the ones before us. You know what I'm saying? We don't have an excuse to sit over here and be serving the Lord, and then, you know what I mean, as we get older in age, we fall short by sleeping with heathens. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know his records. You know Solomon's records. You know David's records. You know the best thing about us is, and that's how you know we are the God's true people. We don't just talk about the things that happened to us that we did that was great. We're not like the Edomites. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We talk about where we fell short at. We talk about where we lost our way, and we use it as a learning trait for the ones that come after us. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So now that we got all these records of how the ones before us fell short, we can't fall short that same way. We don't have there's no excuses. There's no excuses. If you fall short, you know what I mean, it's because, like we said, lack of knowledge.
Lack of knowledge. No, it's like you said, like the scriptures say, things that happened before time are meant for our learning. You know, for all those so-called Christians out there, I know there's a few out there that love to argue against the Old Testament and the New Testament, but that's in the New Testament, referring to the Old Testament. Okay, all these records, like the priest was just bringing out, you know, this was meant for our learning, to gain knowledge, to gain wisdom, so that we could be better. Okay, the Most High did that for us. Okay, just like how you brought up earlier, Swap. Like the Most High, I don't think, you know, I think our people really take for granted what the Most High really does for us on a day-to-day basis. Like, yeah, okay, we're living in this hell right now, but we did that, you know, right, by disobeying the Most High.
Right.
You know, I know, like, don't get me wrong, you know, Esau wicked as hell. You know, he's still the devil that the Bible speaks of.
Mm-hmm.
But we've never would have been in this state if we would have stayed diligent.
Right.
But guess what? We still here though. Okay, the Lord could have offed us a long time ago, but He showed mercy. and still continues to show mercy with just you breathing right now.
Right.
Okay, your kids are still running around. Okay, playing outside. Okay, you get to see your friends, your family. You know, you still alive. Your organs are working because the Most High allows it. Don't take that for granted. But Salaki, with that, the water for everybody tuning in.
One question.
Oh, Salaki, this is what you got.
It was about sex. Because I know, like if you, like, on a Friday, if you have sex, you know, because you're unclean for until the next day sundown.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the same for, like, not having sex, but, like, foreplay, you know, I don't know, touching, you know,
Trying to think.
probably a little finger or, you know, whatever. You know, because I was, like, wanting to know that to be sure, you know, is that still, like, having sex?
That's some Leviticus. Matter of fact, hold on.
I think that that kind of just, as far as the uncleanness, that kind of just goes for the man. Yeah, because if he spills his seed, then
Right.
I mean, he is unclean. I don't want to say not so much for the sisters. You know what I'm saying? I could be wrong, but I mean, I can ask Cap about it. You know what I'm saying? But I think that I'm very sure that just kind of goes for the man. Like, you know, like foreplay could be like kissing, touching, and stuff like that.
Yeah, like that's
once his seed is spilled, that's when he's unclean.
Uncleanliness.
That's when he's unclean. But other than that, you know what I mean?
It's not. I was just asking for myself because, you know, my husband, he is a heathen, which, you know, it ain't. I didn't, you know. It is what it is. He's my husband, but I didn't know.
I understand.
You know, because he's from the Virgin Islands, but he said his father was British. So I'm like, you know, when I found out, I was like, your father is what? You know, I was like, you know, because I was just getting into the truth.
Right.
I had been with him before, then we like split, and then, you know, I was coming into the truth, but I wasn't like really, and it's still on me because even though if you don't, there's a lack of knowledge, but the knowledge is here. That's why the Most High say He's not taking our excuses. It's here for us to know.
Right.
And we have to apply it and study. But I wasn't like really understanding that. So when I got back with him, then he told me that, I'm like, you what? You know, I was like, oh my
That's still your husband.
When I first started coming to class, I had to ask the captain about it. You know, he's like, you still have, you know, you got to treat him like he's your husband. You got to still, you know, be respectful like it was a brother, you know. Because sometimes I feel, I don't know why, I just sometimes feel betrayed. You know, I do.
I understand. Really I understand,
you know, it's no, you know, it's like night and day. You know, I'm there and I'm like trying to, you know, be in the truth because literally I am because, you know, I can't go to him, you know, ask him stuff. He can't sit with me.
Right. I
teaching and stuff. So I feel like sometimes I just be like, oh, I'm just, you know, I don't know. I be really. That's my husband, but I just sometimes wish I
understand. Yeah.
I don't know if it's good to say a brother, but it is what it is. I can't change it, you know. So I was asking for him, so it don't matter if can he be unclean?
I mean,
because
he can't come.
Yeah, he's a heathen, so he's kind of like excluded, you know. So, okay. But as far
really
as
asking for me,
right.
What you said earlier was right. Like it's when the man like spills the seed. You know that's really like the uncleanliness right there. Like kissing and stuff. Like no, like you fine. I'll probably
in the beginning. I was like, no, honey, because you know I'm gonna try. You know I'm gonna go to class and like that. So I was kind of like deny him. I don't know if you're supposed to do that.
Yeah.
You know, because I thought I would be unclean and couldn't come to class.
I'll definitely get with Captain about that. But I mean, I'm pretty sure it just kind of like lies on the male and him and spilling his seed. But we'll figure that out. But
that's a great question too. No, we'll definitely have to get back to you on that one. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. We have to find that. But the water sis. Let's see. Any more questions? Swap, you good? Everything good? All right. Well, with that,
salute the talk.
Yep. Majim, just me and the brother up here. All right.
Straight from the gut. Straight from the gut.
Hold up, I'm gonna get it. Salakia.
I'll do the salute first.
Do this first.
Okay.
La Yasharala.
Slacky. Hold up before I get started. What is going on today? Okay. All right, gird up thy loins to salute the Torah. Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai Barak, Yah.
Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai Barak, yeah.
Yeah. So slide.
Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai Barak, Yah.
All right, imagine upon Yahakwadam, which means to rise and face the east. We're going to start with the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa. Shabbat Shemayim. Kodash. Hayah. Shemka. Yahweh. Malak Taba'ah. Batzaka. Hayah. Aisha. Barataza. Kawa. Hayah. Bashamayim. Latam.
Lakam.
Call.
Yawam.
Wasalak now. Kabawat now. Hasalak now. Kabawati now. Wala'ah. Kabiyah now. Wanasaiwan. Abor. Abashai now. Mayan. Rai. Kaya. Laka. Amalakwa. Wa'ala. Atapara. Awalamim.
Amen. The Lord's Prayer in the English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. On earth.
In earth.
As it is in heaven. Give us this day. Our daily bread. And forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not. Into temptation. But deliver us. From evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it.
Accomplishes the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Obakashah, Latan Lanawa, Hakat, Rapa'ah, Call, Makalah, Wakal, Madawa, Hakat, Latahar, Ha, Matazarayim, Hakat, Lahakwayim, Hamathiam, Hakat, Al, Rakawath, Tama'ala, Garasham, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, the water, Amen.
Hakak, the power in the English. Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh Shai. Please. Give us the power. The power to heal. All manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. The Salakia. The power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to raise the dead.
The power to raise the dead.
The power against unclean spirits.
The power against unclean spirits.
To cast them out.
To cast them out.
In the name of Yahawashi.
In the name of Yahawashi.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it. The blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
YAHANNA.
YAHWH.
Wameaka'ala.
Wameaka'ala.
Wa'alahayim.
Wa'alahayim.
Zabya'a.
Atazabya'a.
Alawap Yahanna.
Alawap Yahanna.
Ha'alawap.
Ha'alawapyam.
Hasaronyim.
Hasaranyam.
Ha'patazayoyim.
Ha'chagayoyim.
Ha'kayayoyim.
Ha'chayayoyim.
Wa'akwafim.
Wa'awapyam.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'ashim.
Ba'asham.
Yahawashi.
Yahawashi.
The water.
The water.
Amen.
Amen. The blessings in the English. Bless you, Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
And Yahawashi.
And Yahawashi.
And Michael.
And Michael.
And the angels.
And the angels.
Commanding General Yahanna.
Commanding General Yahanna.
The generals.
The generals.
The captains.
The captains.
The officers.
The officers.
The troopers.
The troopers.
And the sisters.
And the sisters.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahawashi.
In the name of Yahawashi.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'a.
Asha'a.
Ayanya.
Ayanya.
O.
Ah.
Haharim.
Hayam.
Mayan.
Mayan.
Yaba'a.
Yaba'a.
Isaiah.
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 Ma'aim.
Ma'aim.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Isha.
Shah.
Shemaiah.
Shemaiah.
Baratza.
Baratza.
O.
All.
Shaitan.
Thun.
Mawat.
Mawat.
Bagolka.
Galka.
O.
All.
And Awam.
And Wam.
Shamorka.
Shamarka.
Ana.
Ana.
La'a.
La'a.
And Awam.
And Wam.
Wala'a.
Wala'a.
Yashun.
Yasham.
Shawamar.
Shamar.
Yasharala.
Yasharala.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Shamarka.
Shamarka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Tzalka.
Tzalka.
Ayad.
Ayad.
Nimka.
Nimka.
Yawamam.
Yawam.
Hashamash.
Shamash.
La'a.
Ha'a.
Yakaka.
Yakaka.
Yarak.
Barak.
Alayala.
Lala.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yashamarka.
Yashamarka.
Makor.
Makor.
Rai.
Rai.
Yashamar.
Yashamar.
Pashka.
Pashka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yashamar.
Yashamar.
Taza'afka.
Taza'afka.
Wa'afka.
Wa'afka.
Ma'ida.
Wa'ata.
Wa'ai.
Wa'ai.
Walam.
I will. Psalms 121 in the English. I will lift up mine eyes into the hills.
I will lift up my eyes into the hills.
From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help cometh from the Lord,
My help cometh from the Lord,
which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee
He that keepeth thee
will not slumber.
will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Israel
he that keepeth Israel
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
The Lord is thy keeper.
The Lord is thy keeper.
The Lord is thy shade
The Lord is thy shade
upon thy right hand.
upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
The Lord shall preserve thee
The Lord shall preserve thee
from all evil.
from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
The Lord shall preserve thy going out
The Lord shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming in
and thy coming in
from this time forth
this time forth
and even forevermore.
and even forevermore. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim.
Alahayim.
All. Damaya.
Damaya.
Laka.
Laka.
All. Lakarash.
Lakarash.
All. Ashakwat.
Shakwat.
All. Kaya.
Kaya.
Hana.
Hana.
Awayibika.
Yabika.
Yahama.
Yama.
Yawan.
Yawam.
Ra'ash.
Ra'ash.
I'll.
I'll.
Imaka.
Ayuka.
Ya'imwa.
Imwa.
Sawadah.
Sawadah.
Waita.
Waita.
Tazawa.
Tazawa.
I'll.
I'll.
Tazapawanyaka.
Tazapawanyaka.
Morwa.
Amarwa.
Lakawa.
Lakawat.
Wanakakida.
Orakakidim.
Goya.
Goya.
Wala'a.
Wala'a.
Yazakar.
Yazakar.
Shum.
Shum.
Yasharala.
Yasharala.
Iwada.
Awada.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Tazawa.
Natazawa.
Ba.
Adaba.
Yakadwa.
Kadwa.
Al Yaka.
Ayaka.
Baryath.
Arya.
Yakarathwa.
Kawathwa.
Aliyah.
Aliyah.
Adawam.
Adawam.
Wa.
Wa.
Yashamai.
Yashamai.
Alayam.
Alayam.
Mawa'aba.
Abba.
Wahagorium.
Wagarium.
Gabal.
Gabal.
Wa'amawan.
Gabawam.
Wa'amalak.
Amalak.
Palashaf.
Alashaf.
Am Yeshabia.
Am Yeshabia.
Tazawar.
Tazawar.
Gum.
Gum.
Ashawar.
Ashawar.
Alawa.
Nalawa.
Imam.
Amon.
Hayawa.
Hayawa.
Zarawai.
Zarawai.
Labanya.
Labanya.
Lawat.
Lawat.
Salah.
Salah.
Aisha.
Asha.
Laham.
Laham.
Kamudyan.
Kamudyan.
Kasaya.
Kasaya.
Sara'ah.
Sara'ah.
Kayabyan.
Kayabyan.
Banakal.
Banakal.
Kiyashwan.
Kayashwam.
Shabadwa.
Neshabawat.
Bayan.
Bayan.
Dara.
Dara.
Hayawa.
Hayawa.
Daman.
Daman.
La'ah.
La'ah.
Dama.
Dama.
Shayatamwa.
Shayatamwa.
Nada.
Nada.
Yamawa.
Namawat.
Kairab.
Kairab.
Because of Abba.
Kaza'aba.
Because of Bat.
Kazabat.
Because of Zol.
Katazal.
Manai.
Manai.
Ko.
Kal.
Asayakamwa.
Asayakama.
Ashar.
Ashar.
Amorwa.
Amarwa.
Nayasha.
Naisha.
Lanawa.
Anawat.
Ath.
Ath.
Nawath.
Nawat.
Alahayim.
Alahayam.
Alahaya.
Alahaya.
Shayatamwa.
Shayatamwa.
Kagogala.
Gogala.
Kakwash.
Kakwash.
Lapanya.
Lapanya.
Rawaka.
Rawaka.
Ka'ash.
Ka'ash.
Tabaira.
Tabaira.
Ya'ira.
Ira.
Wa.
Wa.
Kalahaba.
Kalabah.
Kalahat.
Alahat.
Ahariam.
Ahariam.
Kan.
Kan.
Tharadama.
Tharadama.
Sa'iraka.
Sa'iraka.
Wabasa.
Wabasa.
Wapafka.
Wapafka.
Tabahalam.
Tabalam.
Mala'ah.
Wala.
Panyaham.
Palaham.
Kwalawan.
Kalawan.
Waya.
Waya.
Kwashwa.
Kaswa.
Shamka.
Shamka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yabashwa.
Yabashwa.
Salaki. Waya.
Waya.
Bahawa,
Bahawa,
Ayai,
Adiyai,
Waya,
Waya,
Parwa,
Kawa,
Waya,
Yaya,
Abadwa,
Awawa,
Waya,
Waya,
Daiwa,
Daiwa,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Ata,
Ata,
Shamka,
Shamka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Labaka,
Labaka,
Awan,
Adawam,
Al,
Al,
Call,
Call,
Haratza.
Haratazah. Psalm 83 in the English. Keep not thy silence, O God.
Keep not thy silence, O God.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still.
And be not still.
O God.
O God.
For lo,
thine
enemies make a tumult.
Thine enemies make a tumult.
And they that hate thee
And they that hate
have lifted up the head.
have lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel.
They have taken crafty counsel
Against thy people.
Against thy people.
And consulted. Against thy hidden ones.
Against thy hidden ones.
They have said. Come.
Come.
And let us cut them off.
Let us cut them off.
From being a nation.
From being a nation.
That the name of Israel.
That the name of Israel.
May be no more remembrance.
May be no more remembrance.
For they have consulted together.
For they have consulted together.
With one consent.
With one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against thee.
The tabernacles of Edom.
Tabernacles of Edom.
And the Ishmaelites.
And the Ishmaelites.
Of Moab.
Of Moab.
And the Hagarenes.
And the Hagarenes.
Gabal. And Ammon.
And
Amalek.
And Amalek.
The Philistines.
The Philistines.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
Assur also is joined with them.
So also is joined with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
Salah.
Salah.
Do unto them.
Do unto them.
As unto the Midianites.
As to the Midianites.
As to Sisera.
As to Sisera.
As to Jabin.
As to Jabin.
At the brook of Kasam.
At the brook of Kasam.
Which perished at Endor.
Which perished at Endor.
They became as done for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like Oreb.
Make their nobles like Oreb.
And like Zaid.
And like Zaid.
Yea. All their princes as Abba.
All their princes as Abba.
And as Almunah.
And as Almunah.
Who said, let us take to ourselves.
Let us take to ourselves
the houses of God in possession.
The house of God in possession.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Make them like a wheel.
Make them like a wheel.
As a stubble before the wind.
As a stubble before the wind.
As a fire burneth a wood.
As a fire burneth the wood.
And as a flame set the mountains on fire.
As a flame set the mountains
on
fire.
Persecute them.
So persecute them.
With thy tempest.
With thy tempest.
And make them afraid.
And make them afraid.
With thy storm.
With thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame.
Fill their faces with shame.
That they may seek thy name.
That they may seek thy name.
O Lord.
O Lord.
Let them be confounded.
Let them be confounded.
And troubled.
And troubled.
Forever.
Forever.
Yea.
Let
them be put to shame.
Let them be put to shame.
And perish. That men may know.
That men may know.
That thou. Whose name alone.
Is
Yahweh.
Is Yahweh.
Art the most high.
Art the most high.
Over all the earth.
Over all the earth. Sorry, face me.
Thank you for tuning in. Shalom, Israel.
Shalom, Israel.
I got a few pieces of chicken and some rolls.
I will help you, sis.